So. Sure. All right, so overseas travel.
Welcome everybody. This is the travel tips class,
That's all right.
and we're just doing some introductions.
House, Dallas Center, and we're going to Melody Johnson. I'm going to Scotland in August.
Oh,
As a master's dissertation.
Yeah.
Fun. Masters in what?
Psychology with an emphasis in autism.
Oh, wow. That's
Very cool. Well, welcome. We're so glad that you guys are here. We wore our best comfy travel clothes tonight to put you in the mood for a good road trip or a comfy flight. Or maybe that's just my excuse because I didn't really want to change.
Yeah. And you had a nice
Awesome.
Zen yoga class.
You guys, I'm telling you what, we do yoga here on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday afternoons. And so I hurried like crazy to come so that I could do yoga. You're not supposed to probably do that, like fly in. But it's so wonderful. So yeah, 30 minutes ago I was kind of asleep back there, but now I feel very refreshed. Donna, you know, Teresa, you know, it was good. So anytime, if you feel like it, Wednesday night is candlelight yoga again, and it's at 6 o'clock. So very nice.
Well, this is just our fun travel tips class. So whether you're doing planes, trains, or automobiles, we will have a little bit of something for you.
Clearly, we have a lot for you tonight. So I bet there's something here. You guys all have travel tips that are outstanding, I am sure. But I can guarantee you that there's at least one thing that we're going to talk about tonight that you're going to go, oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yes.
So we'll be anxious to hear what that one thing is.
All right, so we thought we'd just kind of go in order. So before the trip, how do you stay healthy as you're preparing for travel? So we have a lot of supplements and products that you can use to boost your immune system, and just some ideas to help you, because when we travel, there's extra stress involved, and when we're stressed, our immune system goes down. We're usually around more people when we travel out in public, and so our immune system, we're exposed to more things. So let's just equip our bodies.
Let's do it.
So one of our favorite products for doing that is Inner Defense capsules. And these are gel capsules that have oregano, thyme, and thieves in them. And you take these as a supplement to boost your health and wellness. So anytime that you are, you know, needing a little extra oomph, especially this time of year, it's a really great product to have. I personally, my husband uses that. It's a little strong for me. I feel like that's kind of the biggest gun in my toolbox. And so I like to take longevity capsules. They're a little bit milder. They don't have oregano in them. And so the essential oils here are thyme, orange, clove, and frankincense. Also, all very good for the immune system.
A couple of my favorite products to take all the time, but especially I make sure that I don't miss them before I travel, are Ningxia Red and Ningxia Nitro. So especially when I'm packing, I don't know about you guys, but that's probably the most stressful part of traveling for me, is making sure that I've gotten everything loaded that I wanted to take. And so that nitro is really good for cognitive fitness, which means it helps our brains perform at the best of their ability. And I need that prior to leaving home. Once I get to the airport or on the road, I'm home free. But it's that, 24 hours right before takeoff that I'm like kind of a hot mess. So nitro is good for the brain. Ningxia is just good for energy and stamina, and also to protect our immune system. So those two are excellent.
The other thing that there's always the core 4 that I always talk about as the foundations for all health and wellness, that no matter what, I feel like every person needs. So if you're sitting here thinking, I don't know where to start with supplements, I just want to start with a baseline, my baseline suggestions are going to be, number 1, a probiotic. I feel that everyone needs to have a probiotic because that your gut health is the foundation for your entire immune system. So our probiotic is called Life 9, and it has 9 different good bacteria strands. And what's really unique about that, about our particular probiotic, is that it colonizes in the right place as you digest it. So it doesn't do you any good if the good guys in your supplement aren't able to take hold and colonize, or they open up in your stomach instead of in your intestines. So you really want to make sure you have a quality probiotic that can do those things for you. So everybody needs a probiotic. Everybody also needs a fish oil. And Young Living's fish oil is Omega-Gize. Omega-Gize is also a gel capsule similar to what we passed around. It has your fish oil in it, which is really great for brain health, joint health, and it's just a good fat, which is also good for heart health, among other things. And when you get a fish oil, it's really important to make sure that it's not rancid. Many of the fish oils that you take are rancid already in the store. And so it actually is harmful to your health to be taking a rancid fish oil. So our Omega-Gize has essential oils in it, which help not only with bioavailability, making sure that your body can process and use it, but also helps it not go rancid. Okay?
What does rancid mean?
Rancid means the fatty oil turned bad in your body. Good question.
It's when you burp it up.
It won't, yeah, it'll taste really bad coming back up.
Okay, so that's the second foundation core. Ninja Red, which she mentioned, is a foundational core for health because it is basically a liquid vitamin. So you get a lot of nutrients that support your immune system, but it supports every single body system. It supports your digestion, it supports your muscles and bones, supports your immune system, so energy, cognitive fitness, all of that. So when I travel, I like to purchase the packets because they're just kind of a one-time use tear off, and they make it really easy to package. So I double bag them just so there's no puncture wounds and tears. But you're welcome to open that up. I like to keep those in my carry-on. And then the fourth item, that's kind of the, yeah.
Is that the one you get in your kit?
Yes, same size.
Yep, same size. Good question.
Did that go through security and everything like that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Oh,
it does.
We have a whole section on TSA.
Yeah. So the fourth foundational item is a digestive enzyme that everyone needs, the fourth thing that everyone needs. My two top favorites are Essential Zymes or Essential Zymes 4. They both digest different things, but we also have Detoxazyme and Allerzyme. So I would suggest looking up in your desk reference what each of those 4 digest to see which one would be the right one for you. But usually one of the Essential Zymes is a good place to start.
Absolutely. And they're small, so they pack very easily.
Yes.
So. All right. One of the things that I do religiously before I travel, whether it be on a plane or in a car on a road trip, is about the maybe 2 or 3 days prior to departure, is I start drinking water that has thieves and copaiba in it. So vitality, of course, right? But if you remember, copaiba is an amplifying oil, and it kind of ramps up the effectiveness of whatever oil you partner it with. So if I'm looking to support my immune system, which I am before I travel, I want to ingest both of those together. And that has worked beautifully for me. So I usually start a couple of days before I leave just to make sure that that's going through my system. But also, you know, the minute I sit down on a plane and they serve me a cup of water, I will oftentimes just put a drop or 2 in there for good measure, drink it fast. And I feel like that has served as good protection for quite a while.
And that's thieves and
copaiba. Yep.
The other immune system oil that I really love is frankincense. It kind of does a lot of things. So skin health, immune system support, and muscle support. So those are really, it's
not to mention calming, like the emotional protection, because some people get a little nervous traveling, so that's good.
The other thing to keep in mind that when we travel, especially air travel, is dehydrating. And dehydration leads to a lot of symptoms. It can lead to fatigue, it lowers your immune system, and a lot of things can be fixed by staying hydrated. So, like she said,
this is a reminder, take a drink, everyone.
Especially if I'm going to be speaking. There was some I don't remember what the statistic was, but like an hour to a public speaking is the equivalent of, I don't know, you need so many glasses of water. It was phenomenal. So the moral of the story is drink a lot before you go. Make sure you're drinking while you're traveling. And especially if you're speaking, drink more. So I like to drink my water with my Ninja Red and my oils in it, even while I travel. So I will take my glass water bottle and I will have it in my carry-on bag. And when I go through security, I don't have liquids in it. I keep it empty. And a lot of airports now have water fountains for water bottles that you can just hold your water bottle up to and you can fill it. So I love having my water bottle with that.
The other thing to keep in mind for travel is altitude. So especially for those of you who said your next trip is convention, I can't even tell you how many people have gotten out there to Salt Lake City and the first 24 or 36 hours, they're like, oh, my head. Well, much of that can be resolved really quickly with hydrating properly. So you gotta drink. I know that means many stops if you're driving, but you gotta stay hydrated on the way out there. It does, doesn't it? Right? But it's okay. Stop. Wyoming is lovely. Just keep stopping.
I remember Gary saying once that the minute the plane touches down in Utah, take a sleeve of Essential Zymes 4. So I do that usually. Yeah,
Okay.
and cedarwood.
Nice. See
I
what
like
is
sleep, I like a whole sleep.
A whole sleeve. So, yeah, Libby, open my purse and see if I have any Essential Zymes 4 packets. We'll pass that around if you do. All right, so let's talk about packing our toiletries.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. First up, how many of you have seen this fantastic little kit? A few of you. Okay. So this is one of my favorites for several different reasons. This is actually our Bon Voyage kit, and it comes already loaded. Look, it's even labeled. Isn't that nice? So, and I think there's, oh no, maybe that's just a card. It's just, no, it's it opens. There's some information in there about each of the products. But here's the thing. This has almost all of your travel size toiletries that you're going to need. You're going to need to supplement it with some of your skincare and your Savvy Minerals. But as far as shampoo and lotion and toothpaste and that kind of thing, they're all the right size. So you don't have to think about it. You've got your hand sanitizer. They've even thought of lip balm, because how many people's lips get super dry when you're traveling? I think that's the most annoying thing on the planet. So make sure you've got a couple of lip balms, because one will get lost. So have a spare. This is the only place on the planet that you can get a Young Living branded toothbrush. So that's worth it right there. You've got your travel size toothpaste, some Aroma Bright, which is fantastic. That, by the way, can double as your deodorant if you don't want to pack extra deodorant, right? Even some Art Light Moisturizer in a cute little container like this, so that you don't have to take your big container. So that's very handy. It's already in the perfect sized container. But I want to tell you one more trick about this. Some of you that are on my team have heard this before. Did you know that this is one of the best business building tools? Also, because you've got all these samples, right? And if you break down the cost of this is $55. Turns out there's 11 items, 11 consumables in here. That means that they're $5 a piece. So if you've got someone that is trying to convert to a toxin-free lifestyle, and they're like, oh, I'm kind of scared to buy the shampoo because I'm really picky about how that feels. And you can say, well, no fear, friend. Why don't you try the shampoo and the conditioner for 3 days and then give it back and tell me what you think. You could give it to them as a gift, but you could also just kind of loan it out piece by piece. Very economical, okay? Or if you wanted to give the Try Me bag, we've been talking about that in our team, where you kind of give someone the lifestyle for a week and then have them give it back. Now, obviously, you're not going to sample out the toothbrush and then ask Teresa to give it back, but you get the idea. So it's a wonderful thing for a pretty minimal cost that you could share with someone, let them experience things, and then get it back. And it's all branded. It all looks very professional. So I think that's pretty fun, easy idea to share. And when they're empty, you can just refill them, right? So you can pass that around.
So if you're like me and you like everything to have pretty labels, then ta-da, just refill
Right
it.
on.
So I wanted to show you how many of your products already come in a TSA approved bag, right? So through TSA,
That's
you're allowed to have
awesome.
1 quart-sized bag already. Your art facial wash already comes in the TSA size. You can do your light moisturizer if you want. Your serum can be in there. So can your Savvy Mineral Spray. And your toner. So here's what I do with my toner. I don't have the big toner, but even at home, I pour my toner into a spray bottle and I spray my toner onto a cotton pad because it lasts longer. The toner bottle has a little hole in the top that you kind of glug out onto your cotton pad, and I just feel like it's really wasteful. So I pour that whole thing into a spray bottle, and then all I have to do is throw that into my travel size container, and I'm already good to go.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you take the lids off when you travel?
The lids?
Yeah. Or did you just do that for tonight?
No, I always keep them off.
You do?
Because it's annoying to like on and off. But like if I were to travel, I might put a thing on. Sometimes my bags get wet inside.
I just didn't know if that saved you space, which it would.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know how.
That's a
how
great.
it
Isn't that amazing how many you can fit in there though?
And I could fit more. I could probably
could.
squeeze a little shampoo or a toothpaste in here.
Awesome.
But I like to even go more compact. So I love this idea of carry-on only. A lot of times when you fly, you get charged for checking your bag. And so I take it as a personal challenge to fly carry-on only because I'm preparing to go to Europe someday. That's my dream, to fly to France. And when you go to Europe, it's really hard to have lots of bags. So I take it as a challenge. So here's what I do to compact even farther. I put all my samples into contact lens cases. So I buy this big dog from my local box store of empty, clean contact lens cases. And then I write on them, light facial moisturizer. I take one set here that I can take into the bathroom. So for every morning I'm gone, I'll do a shampoo and a conditioner on one side. And that's a one-time use right there. Rinse it out, take it home again. And then I have one that both sides have shower gel in them. So I can use multiple showers with one container of that. And then I have my light moisturizer in here. I just put a pump for morning and night for every day that I'm gone. And then toothpaste. I put my toothpaste in here too. And then when it's done, I rinse it out really well and I bring it home. So toiletries, even smaller. So you can go smaller with that too.
Like how many days would that last you?
So the shampoo and conditioner, I really only do one shower with that, but the bath gel would probably last me a week. They just don't, it's really concentrated. The toothpaste, definitely a week, doing one on each side. It's really the shampoo and conditioner that I use more, and the facial moisturizer definitely would last you a week or more. So,
substitute soap, bar soap for the shower gel.
yeah.
Good idea.
Yep. So the other thing that I recommend is taking your Young Living bar soap and cutting it into small pieces. So you can probably get 10 sample sizes. When you go to the hotel and they have that smaller, it's not exactly, you could get a week out of those bars, right? You could shave just smaller bars yourself out of this and either put it in one of these or a Ziploc bag and just bring it, a little mini baggie that way too. So you can, if you're not a shower gel person, you can do both. But that is not all that I use my contact lens cases for. So let me show you the Savvy Minerals. How many of you have your Savvy Minerals yet? All right. So when you get your brush set, you have 5 brushes and you have this little container that snaps in here. And you can actually fit in here a foundation, a blush, and 1, 2, 3, I don't know, I think I have at least 3 or 4 of the eyeshadows in here and a lipstick. So you can actually fit all the makeup you need in here, and I still have a little bit of extra room. But if you wanted to conserve even more, I like to use the contact lens cases for my eyeshadow. And here's why. How many of you are familiar with the foiling technique? Okay, so foiling is where you get your brush wet and you dip it into your minerals and you apply it wet for a more vibrant color that lasts longer. Well, I like to use these for that because when I pour my minerals in here, then and I use it, if I were to do it in the lid of my jar, the moisture stays there and it affects the minerals life, right? But if I do it in a contact lens case, so I'm always mixing, and people like to mix their colors up to lighten them or darken them with other shades. So this is a way to conserve space in your suitcase if you don't want to take your full minerals with you. Okay, so contact lens cases are your friend.
Genius.
Men, let's talk about the men in your life. My husband, your husband, very simple people.
Very.
They require this all in one, shampoo, body wash, everything, and it already comes sized to travel. And then all they need from there.
Yeah. So whatever they use for shaving. And honestly, my husband just uses an electric razor. He doesn't even wet a razor. So we don't have all of the shaving stuff at our house, but I did bring the aftershave lotion, and you can see that it is also travel size approved. And the shaving cream is as well, but this is the one that I had handy. So really, for the guys, if they're minimalist, everything they really need is right there. And it's
And again, you can pour those into contact lens cases.
Yes, you could.
Or whatever, you can go to all the travel bins and you can get your travel size bottles too. But most of us don't need this much when we travel. So we can really conserve space that way.
That's awesome.
The other thing I like to do is to take these foaming pumps, and if I want to take my art moisturizer down, I will open up the pump. I don't pump it in here, I pour it in here. And then I have a smaller foaming wash. You can do this with the orange blossom. Do you guys know the trick with orange blossom face wash? Yes, tell us. Yeah. So you just put a little bit of your orange blossom face wash in here, add water, and then your orange blossom bottle is I get 45 of these out of one orange blossom face wash.
That's more than a year easily. Yeah. The other thing, you'll probably talk about this, but I'm stealing it now.
Do it.
But when we travel, one of the things that I love to have with me that gives me the comforts of home is the Thieves hand soap. And so you can, instead of taking the big one, which is probably too big to travel with, just pour some of that concentrate into here and set that at your hotel sink, or keep it in your purse when you go into the restaurant, restroom. You've got at least one thing that is safe and comfortable.
So I usually keep the Thieves foaming hand wash in my purse anyway. I don't have it in today because I changed purses. But that's just something that's standard in my purse, and it's already travel size approved for flights. So when I fly, I move it from my purse into my quart size bag to go through.
Perfect.
Security. Yeah, so your foaming pumps are your friend.
Here's one more little trick. How many of you have or have ever tried the lavender lip balm? Did you know that it's good for more than just lips? So if you need a carrier oil, you can use this as a carrier stick. If you get an oil on you that might be a little too hot and you don't have V6 with you, you can just open up your lavender lip balm and rub a little bit on that spot, and it will act as a carrier to slow down the absorption rate. Also, for anything that's going on your skin, if your child falls, scrapes their knee or whatever, it's just lavender, right? So that's what we would want to use anyway. So I love to keep plenty of these around just to use all over. So that's a good friend.
Oh, now you can take your spray bottles down to size also. So you can buy these little glass spray bottles online.
We're getting really tiny now.
And I love these for lots of reasons. So I make my own breath spray. I put somewhere around 3 to 10 drops of peppermint in here with some water. And then I have my own breath spray on the go. You could put your Savvy Minerals misting spray in here. You could put your Clariderm, Lavaderm, any spray.
Anything that sprays.
You can put in here. And because we love it, when people show up to classes, I'm gonna pass this box around and you can all take one tonight home with you.
Everybody's going down. Yeah. So, aren't you glad you stayed?
There's a lot of information.
That's always our,
slow down.
that's always our goal.
Yeah,
Right on. You will be able to watch a recording later too if you choose.
right.
But that is very sweet.
One last item that I like to keep in my toiletry bag, I take my lotions and I put them into the travel containers. I happen to love these rubbery ones that I get at Target. I think they're like brand 321 maybe. They just squeeze easier than the plastic. But any of your lotions that you love, but they're made for shampoo. This one has a suction cup to suction to your bath shower, but
That's what that is.
I keep that in my purse all the time anyway. Or your mirror,
I had no idea.
your rear view mirror. I
There
don't
you
know.
go. That's a good idea. The side window.
So that's how we do toiletries. So you can go anywhere on that spectrum.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're keeping you guys on your toes, passing things in both directions. Nobody's going to fall asleep. All right, let's talk just a little bit about how to fly with oils. We get this question on all of our Facebook groups on a regular basis. And the honest answer is there's different ways you can do it. So Heather and I fly differently. As you will soon find out, I am, for those of you that know me, I am totally chill. I'm very relaxed. I'm very trusting. And I walk through those security things with grace and ease. And I send my oils right on the conveyor belt and bless them. And they are fantastic. But did you know that you don't have to do that? So we are each independent, advocates for ourselves, and there's lots of ways that you can navigate security. So, Heather, will you tell them what you do?
Yes, so I choose not to go through the x-ray machines myself. You can research that online and make your own choice about that. So when I come up to the TSA counter, I put my bag through and I take out my oils case. Where's my oil bag? Here it is. I take out my oil bag and I open it up and I go like this and I put it in a bucket by itself and I hand the bucket to a TSA agent and I say, would you hand check these please? And I would like to opt out. And opt out means that you don't want to go through that, you'd like a pat down. And so then they call, if you're a female, they call a female agent and they walk you through the gate. And then they talk you through the process of a pat down. So it adds maybe 5 or 10 minutes to my time. They don't put these oils through the x-ray either, though every airport is different with what they do. Some of them are like, oh yeah, Young Living, we know that, here you go. And some of them open every single bottle and scan test every bottle. So depending on how many bottles you have and how busy they are, that could add some time. So if you're not in a rush, I usually plan extra time. That's how I choose to do it. But lots of people put their oils through. You can travel with your whatever size bottle you want. Now, I'm not.
Please do.
Yeah. So these, there's a category, like normally, when you fly, you're allowed the 1 quart-size baggie of liquids. And then the liquids all have to be under a certain length. Certain size bottle. These bottles are under that certain size. And so if you can fit them, you're welcome to try and fit them in with your toiletries, but you don't have to because they have a special accommodation for what they call medicinals. Now, I'm not saying these are medicine. I'm not a doctor diagnosing, treating, or prescribing, but that's the term the TSA gives for things that are necessary for you on the flight. So think of moms traveling, nursing moms that travel and need to have extra milk or formula. They fall under that. Our Ninja Red packets can fall into that, and so do your oils. So whether they go through x-ray or you have a pat down, again, every airport's different. So I had a baggie of that. I had a baggie full of Ninja packets. I had my oils, and I had a really spunky TSA agent once, and she was really giving me the what for, and she's like, do you know you're only allowed to have 1 travel size or 1 quart size bag? Why do you have so many bags? And I said, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've flown so much. This has never happened before. I think I'm in big trouble. And I just said, well, these are medicinal. And I pointed to my 2nd and 3rd bag. And she said, oh, that's all I needed to hear from you. Thank you. And on I went. She just wanted me to say those words. So whatever. So that's your code word.
Code word.
for that. So you don't have to carry these on. You can check all your oils in your luggage. I've flown with over 50 of these full-size bottles when I was flying carry-on only to go teach a class, 50 to 75. It was a lot of oils that I had hand-checked. So you will be fine with your case of oils. But there's other options if you want to compact yourself, right? So we have a little wallet here. You can put your favorite oils into a sample case. I often just put this through X-ray. I don't put my big ones through X-ray. Don't ask me why. I'm just weird. There's also these keychain cases that you can put little sample bottles in that attach to your keychain or hook.
And this is one of my favorite cases to fly with because guess how many oils I have in here? 30. More. More.
4,900.
More. 60. 64.
What?
So when I need variety,
Oh my goodness.
check that out. Okay, it's an 8x8. I absolutely love
Flat
to take
pack.
this. So when I went to Australia, I filled each of these to the brim.
30 drops probably.
Yep. And so that was enough for an almost 2-week trip. And I, because you get a little anxiety about which oils do I leave at home. Aroma Ready is the name of the company. And I want to say it was Abundant Health.
That
That's what
sounds
I'm
right.
thinking. Yeah. Oh, there's an 800 number inside.
Okay,
So
how
you-
many does it hold?
64. So that is an absolute favorite of mine just because I don't want to leave any oil left behind.
No oil left behind.
No oil left behind.
That's what takes
That's-
forever packing sometimes, just
Ex-
deciding.
Exactly. So I like to keep this, and obviously it's got some holes in there because after I got home I started sharing samples. But I do like to keep one that's just ready for travel, and then I can just grab it and go. And even if I'm going on a road trip, within Iowa, if I don't want to take my whole Aroma Complete, which is great to have, but it's bulky. Yeah, I can throw it in my backpack. I can throw it in my purse for that matter. So that's a nice one to have.
So let me share.
Oh, should we talk about this one or is this later? Kids, okay.
When I fly carry-on, I usually have my roller board that goes up above in the plane. And then I have some type of bag that fits under the seat in front of me. So I consider this my purse, my personal bag. I usually have a purse inside. But this particular one, I have my laptop in. And just for ease of getting through security, something for you to think about when you're packing. When we get up to security, people want to get through fast. They don't want to wait for you to take off your shoes and your coat and they're going to make you take out your quart-sized baggie and all your liquids. So I go ahead and put them right in this outside pocket. So all I have to do is open it up. I chunk it in the bag, I take my shoes off, I send them through with my bags, I get my oils out, and I'm ready to go to that agent and say, I'd like to opt out, okay? So think about, as you're locking and loading your bags, where should your liquids go, okay? Because they're gonna have you set those out separately.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you're carrying with your laptop, you're supposed to take your laptop out of your bag unless you have the backpack that will fold open and you can leave it in. Can you put your oils in there and leave those in like you could your laptop, or do you have to take the oils out? If they're
I
in your
usually
bag?
don't take my sample cases out. I usually forget, or they just don't notice.
Okay.
Sometimes, occasionally, they could. They could pull your bag off and search through it and be like, oh yeah, this is why we pulled it off. But I usually take my oils, all my liquids out, and my laptop.
I've never removed any of the tiny sample vials, no matter how many I have. I've never taken them out. It's such a minuscule amount. Even if there's 64 of them, they never care. So.
And funny story, so John and I were going, gosh, it must have been Ecuador. We each had an identical backpack, 2 different colors, and we each had 2 quart-sized baggies, absolutely stuffed with Ninja packets each, 2 each. Bag right after each other. My bag his bag gets pulled off and checked, and it's the Ninja packets, and they had to talk to each other and decide if it was okay. Mine, exact same location, sailed right through, no questions asked. So it absolutely depends on where you're flying through and your agent and how persnickety they are.
And here's a tip that I will share with you on that same note. You know how we talk a lot about us radiating energy? If you go up to the TSA counter and you're like this, I hope they get through. I hope they don't see that. you guys, they can smell fear just like a dog. Okay, so take a deep breath, put some stress away and some valor on, and have some confidence that what you are carrying is not an illegal drug, that it's fine, it is for your good, and smile. And what I like to say is go in expectant that they're going to be very interested. In fact, they will probably ask for your business card. Go in with that mentality that they're going to want to know what you have, not out of suspicion, but out of genuine concern. Because oftentimes, if they do take the oils out and they smell them, they ask sincere questions. What are these?
Oh, this is a
These
spa.
smell
This is
amazing.
wonderful.
And so if you can just, as you're packing, just tell yourself, I'm going to have a great conversation with a TSA agent. I should probably pack something with my contact information on it. That is a whole different scenario than walking up there going,
Please don't take my bag. Please don't take my bag.
on my plane. Yeah, right? Do you get it? So just project the right energy, and that's what they'll give you back. Your smile is exactly what you need to wear through security instead of, so I think that's important.
All right, so let's talk about tips and tricks for
Let's see
flying.
what this is. You got a little
Oh,
note card?
that's for later. I travel.
Love it.
One of the things I like to pack are note cards, usually thank you cards, but sometimes just a blank card, because it never fails. I'll be flying somewhere or going somewhere or staying with someone, and I'll want to leave a thank you note on the bed, in the room that I stayed in, or there'll be somebody that I meet that I want to give a note to. And so I try to remember to do that. I don't always remember. Okay, so when you fly carry-on, there's a few packing tips. I'm not going to go into huge detail about this because you can watch all kinds of great videos. But get yourself a nice bag that's easy to identify. Most people are not going to have the cars on their bag, so it's easy to identify. I like to pack my shoes around the outside perimeter and put stuff in the middle. And then I recently got myself some packing cubes for Christmas.
Do tell.
All kinds of brands. I happen to watch a lot of videos from Eagle Creek, which is a certain luggage company brand. I don't know enough to know, all the different brands, but these struck me as good, so I bought them. So I have crammed this full of my socks. And then what you do is you give it one more zip, and it compresses the space.
Sorry, don't mind me.
And it makes your bags even smaller. Okay, so what took up more space takes up less.
Amazing.
And you can buy these in all different sizes, and the cool thing is you can pack everything. So like, okay, these are my socks, these are my other unmentionables, these are all my t-shirts, these are my jammies. And then you pull out your cube and you open it and you put it in your drawer at your hotel, just like this, as a nice little cube. And then you're unpacked. You're ready to go. You can just open drawers and grab. And then it makes it easy to repack again. So I like cubes. They make that easier. What else was I going to say about that? Okay, so here's some other fun tricks about Heather. So I like to take my blender with me in my carry-on suitcase.
Doesn't everybody do that? I take my KitchenAid mixer. Just kidding.
So this little guy, this is actually my second blender. The first one was like a, I don't know, $30 blender online.
You've upgraded.
I've upgraded. He died. And then, so I got this guy, and he was $25 on sale. He's a $60 blender. It came with 2 bottles. So I put my shake in here. I screw on the lid, and I have my smoothie in the morning because that's what I eat for breakfast. Now you can be simple and low maintenance.
That would be me. Okay, so this is your simple version. This has a little plunger, or many of them have the little balls, right? So shake it up. Or here's an in-between version.
Ooh.
This was actually a gift to us at a retreat. I bet Britta has one of these, perhaps. So this one actually says Young Living, but and you know what? I don't have the battery in here, but you can just push that little button, and as long as you're not blending fruit or ice, which you can totally do in here, this would just be all of our powder shakes, right? So the Sleep Shake, the Protein Complete, what else have we got? Balance Complete, that's what I was trying to say. But as long as it's just powder and liquid, you're good to go in here. So
how do I pack my shakes? I've done it a couple different ways. Usually I take a tiny Ziploc baggie for every morning breakfast, and I put my shake allotment, and then I put all those little baggies in a quart-sized baggie, and I pack it in here. And then every morning I just dump that into my blender bottle, and I add ice and water or almond milk if I was able to go to the store wherever I was, and I whiz it up, and I'm a happy camper. Or you could shake it up. But there are other things that you can do. There are some containers like this for baby formula or toddler snacks where you can do one container and then you just turn it and dump it. So I have a couple different versions of that. These are also great if you're traveling with other powders like the Amino Wise or Sulfurzyme powder. And for some of those, like especially Amino Wise, you may want a little tiny container. These come in a multi-pack. They're usually hanging at your grocery store all around the store. And so you can put all kinds of different powders, supplements, pills for every day in here as well.
Have you ever gotten questions about the white powder substance?
The mysterious powder. No.
From TSA? Just one funny story. I remember Melissa Pepping the first time she flew to Australia, and she had a Facebook post that said, just wisdom to share, don't take entire baggies of Balance Complete through TSA because they completely thought she was trying to shuttle drugs. Clearly it's not, but I just wondered if you had ever had that.
No, but I usually like put them into smaller baggies. So that's another fun thing about me.
Awesome.
The other thing I like to do, I like to make sure I can eat healthy when I travel, because if I don't feel good, then I can't enjoy my trips. So other foods. What foods do you like to take with you?
This is one of my very favorite travel foods, just for snacking. You can make a delicious hot tea if you don't want to pack a lot of other things. Cup of hot water, drop some of these in here. I will pass these around, and I don't even care if you want to take a few out. Just don't I don't have a spoon, so I trust you. If you're pouring into your hand. Let's see. Heather could tell you stories about this. This is a funny story, but this is our pancake and waffle mix.
Okay, so
She blew me away with what she did recently.
as you know, I like to eat good food, and so when our family travels, we usually take a cooler of food with us. Or if I'm traveling, I plan to go to the grocery store to supplement our food. So this last week, we traveled, and we actually made waffle mix, and I put it into this container. You can buy these at your store. It's Sterilite brand, and it's pourable. So I made the whole batter ahead of time, and then we put it in our little mini fridge in our hotel room. And our hotel served a free breakfast that our family did not want to eat because it's not healthy, but we thanked them for their waffle irons. And so we just went down, and instead of using their batter, we just poured our own.
How resourceful is that?
Like that.
I've seen people make paninis with a clothing iron in their hotels, but I have never heard about bringing their own. Okay, I didn't pass this around when we talked about it, but have you guys tried this? This is so delicious. This is the vanilla spice. This is actually my favorite of the protein drinks. It's delicious on its own, but you can ramp it up a notch if you add some frozen berries to it. A frozen banana is really good in here. All kinds of good things. You can even add vegetables to it if you want to, but that's a easy one to travel with.
And not just for breakfast. I mean,
Right.
when you're out and about and you need a quick
That's
snack, or when your flight, you don't want to eat airport food, this is a great thing to have in your carry-on to just shake. It shakes really easily with some water. You don't even need a blender.
Right on. What do you say we open the granola?
Granola.
You guys, I can't get enough out of this. I just love it so much. My only qualm with this is that Young Living professes that there are 10 servings in here.
Oh, that's
Yeah, right. I beg to differ, but oh man, it's so good. So you can eat this like cereal and put milk on it, of course, that's obvious. But one of my favorite things to do is mix it up with some nuts, with some dried fruit, with some of those wolfberries, and just make yourself a trail mix that it will send you down the road for many, many miles. So help
At
yourself.
one of the retreats we were at, Gary was talking about the nutritional profile of einkorn, and how when you have einkorn wheat, which this has einkorn in it, and you have Ninja Red, you have all of the nutrients and minerals that your body needs. And so if ever there were to be a need for, just getting nutrition.
Catastrophic event.
This is what you'd want to have. Well, you can take that knowledge with you when you travel with the Einkorn products and the Nature Red. So I actually love this with yogurt. So if I'm traveling, not only do I eat it as a snack like you guys are doing now, but when I go grocery shopping, I'll buy some Greek yogurt and I'll put this on there with some fresh berries. But for those that aren't as persnickety as me, most of your hotels that offer a free breakfast will have some type of yogurt in their buffet bar, and you could add this to it.
Absolutely. And some things that we have, of course, that are already individually packaged. We've got lots of delicious bars. So there are sleek bars that are awesome, very filled with seeds and nuts and that kind of thing. This is actually a chocolate-coated wolfberry crisp bar, and those, there's nothing wrong with these either, folks. Those are quite tasty. So I'm sorry, I only brought one of those, so I'm not gonna open it. So Tamara gets it. You can arm wrestle Britta for it.
So just to give you some extra things to think about, if you are trying to eat healthier when you travel, some tips and tricks about what our family does. When I was first learning how to eat healthy, the thought of traveling without many options on the road, I mean, between here and the border, you've got McDonald's and Taco Bell galore, and those just weren't healthy options for my tummy. So as I alluded to before, our family usually packs a big cooler. I have 4 children, 14 down to 6. And so not only do we save a lot of money by bringing our groceries along with us, but we also eat really well. So on this last trip, for example, we cleaned some lettuce leaves because a lot of us are gluten-free in my family. And so we rolled up some meat and lettuce, and we had in the car little lettuce wraps. We cut up fresh vegetables and fruit that were just easy to grab out of the Ziploc bag. Those were our snacks, different protein, like multigrain chips and corn chips and things like that, that were healthier options. And so we were gone for 3 or 4 days, times 3 meals, and we ate out once.
Wow.
Just for a treat.
I love hummus on the go because it's thick and it doesn't drip as easily. So it's a nice dip for veggies and for chips and crackers and that sort of thing.
Beef sticks, cheese sticks,
are
those
bomb.
are easy.
Costco has the little avocados, and you can freeze those.
Oh.
I've frozen them and left them in my freezer, and then you just pull them out as you need them.
Okay, now that's a good
That's a
idea.
great idea.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it's good. They
Thank
taste
you.
good.
Good.
Yes.
I love avocados.
If you were in a rush, this
It's
last trip, I was in a rush and I really didn't have a lot of time to prep salad. I mean, we were prepping some of the veggies and fruit out of our fridge, but I wanted us to be able to eat some salads on the go. And so they have these great organic bags of pre-chopped cabbage and basically like an Asian salad. And it comes with a packet that has some like seeds and croutons and nuts and a dressing full of sugar and soy. And so I threw out that packet of dressing and croutons, and we just took the good stuff and made our own dressing on the side. So there are grab and go type products like that. You can take an avocado along, and as long as you bring a knife with you, you can cut up all kinds of fruits and veggies. I like to smash an avocado and make guac on the go by adding some lime oil to it. So there's lots of different recipes. My printer wasn't very nice today. I will pass this around if you want to look at it and take photos. We can try to post recipes. The first page is just a couple of different dressings that are really fast to throw together, and you can put those in a little carry jar and take those with you. They could count as part of your liquid allowance if you wanted to fly with it, or you could travel with it. Or I've also bought smaller bottles of olive oil, balsamic oil, and honey, and just whipped up those 3 in the hotel room when we forget. And these are just some other oil foods you guys can look at. So you can eat healthy on the go, and there's lots of great ways to use your oils with your food when you're out and about to make it more fun. The last drink, I do want to show you a drink. And those of you that are in Trim Healthy Mama, we have a drink called Good Girl Moonshine. So anytime I am either craving a soda or I just want something besides water, it's an apple cider vinegar drink. So it's mostly water. It has, up to a tablespoon or 2 of apple cider vinegar. You can start low if you're new to it. And then a sweetener, so I use stevia drops, and then ginger oil. Ginger oil is really great for digestion, so is apple cider vinegar, and they both are great for your immune system. So when I fly with a bottle, and this goes in with my quart size, so I have ACV, and I have stevia drops, and then I have my ginger oil, and I have a little drink kit. So if I'm at a restaurant or if I'm on the plane, I can just add these drops to everything, and I have a refreshing drink. So you can get these little dropper bottles online. You can even get them mini sized. And so you can put massage oil in these. So I have one for massage oil. You could make it smaller, whatever liquid that you want. Just think of different bottles online you can use to make them smaller.
Did you get those from Abundant Health?
Probably. Yeah.
Abundant Health, for the number 4 and the letter U, carries almost all oil accessories that you can think of. So that's kind of a nice one-stop shop.
So can I show them my purse of wonder?
Would you? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Livy, will you grab my little kit of wonder? So this lives in my purse all the time. And so when I travel, it's always with me. And I just have various little wonderful things. So I have my Thieves hand sanitizer here, which if you buy this refill pump, I just refill my little bottles with the big pump. Is there anyone here who's never tried this? You never tried this? Okay, well, let's pass this around.
Oh yeah.
Get a little squirt. I love it because it's not really drying like some of the other.
It's almost like
sanitizers.
lotion.
Yeah.
It's moisturizing.
It's
And it smells amazing.
I have a little
Right.
baggie that has tea bags in it. So I take sleep tea with me and little packets of sweetener. My family doesn't eat any sugar. And so I have a stevia that I like to travel with.
What's your favorite stevia?
I get it from Trim Healthy Mama, and they have little packets of a stevia erythritol blend that is great. So I can just pour that packet in like sugar. I love to travel with sleep tea because it's already sweet enough. So when I'm on the plane, I will often get a hot water and then make my own tea bag out of my kit.
You'll make everybody around you jealous because it smells so good.
I have a sleep bar that really should be used. It's been there a little while. I like to travel with the cough drops just because your mouth gets dry, especially when you're speaking. And at this time of year, there's lots of times when cough drops. Skyla likes to travel with these.
Oh yeah. Do you guys know what these are? Do you recognize these?
Mm-hmm.
The little sample packets. Now, have you heard that we're redoing the premium starter kit? These are going to come out, and they're putting in a sample of Thieves Household Cleaner, which is even better. But you can still purchase these separately. So I actually just bought about 200 of these little treasures because, well, one, I'm putting swag into a swag bag for a festival that's going on. But when I travel, I intentionally take several of these because, not for my use, but what do you do when you're on a plane and the little baby 4 rows back unleashes into the fit of all fits? I feel better pulling out a lavender that is professionally labeled, right? That's branded, instead of the little mysterious brown bottle, which mom isn't going to have any idea, nor should she trust, right, what's in there. And I'll just stick a business card in this and turn around and say, would you pass this to the mom that needs it? And I can't tell you how many times I have had thank yous and that sort of thing. But if you're at a restaurant and you want to give a gift to the waitress or the waiter, that's a lovely thing to leave and just say, thanks for the great service. Here's a little kick of energy for the rest of the night or something like that. These are awesome tools for sharing.
And if you don't want these oils, it's just one less oil to fill in a sample bottle or to take. Choose for yourself.
Right on.
The other thing I carry in here, I carry bottles because I fully intend to give samples out. And rather than try to take labels with me, which would look way more professional than the mysterious bottle, I have a silver or gold marker that will write on the top of the black bottles. And I just keep these in my bag so that I can always share. And then I have my business card. And because I am a tummy traveler, I always have a full bottle of fennel on me because fennel gets me out of a lot of jams. My friend, you can. Is there a Vitality fennel?
Sure.
I lick it.
Yeah.
With your thumb? I lick it off my hand and it turns.
Put a
my
drop
life
under
around.
your tongue.
Really?
So good. Have you tasted fennel ever or smelled it?
No.
So it is black licorice. It's
It's
amazing.
in digest.
And it's in digest.
I
So
just
when
like it better than
When you smell digest, that's the predominant one that you're gonna smell.
Ooh,
But it's lovely if you like black
I
licorice.
love fennel. I make fennel and orange salad.
Oh, perfect. That sounds yummy.
With a little white wine.
There you go.
Let's talk about our sample case, our supplements that we take.
Okay. So this is while you're traveling. There's going to be a little bit of overlap here, but we'll highlight these a little bit.
Young Living has these wonderful travel cases.
Choose your favorite
So
color.
on the outside, I typically have 1 or 2 tea bags with my sweeteners in here. Because I usually will keep this in my purse when I'm traveling.
I have cough drops in mine with more samples, of course.
Perfect. And then in here, you've got room for at least 2 of your Ninja packets in the pocket. And if you need it, it comes with a veggie capsule. So you open your capsule and set it in here, and it makes it easier to fill when you're taking oils internally.
Let's do it. Isn't that smart?
And then it holds 3 oil bottles. So if you like to put oils into either as supplements or oils into your Ninja, you can select the oils that you love. And it comes pre-labeled with the days of the week and then 1 extra empty for veggie caps. But mine is well loved and those wear off.
Mhm.
And you can actually hold 12 sulfurzyme capsules per container. So you get about 12 capsules in a whole. But I don't like to be tied down to this is what I'm taking on Monday. So I do it differently. I actually label my category. I put the pills in different containers rather than go by day. I say this is sulfurzyme, this is multigrains, this is whatever. And then I can choose that morning what strikes my fancy.
And at our house, Max, our 10-and-a-half-year-old Labradoodle, is on a pretty good regimen of supplements. So this is actually Max's stuff, which I just realized I'm probably panicking at home because I don't know if he had eaten supper before I left. But we load this up for ease of whoever is feeding him. So we get 1 in the morning, and so this is AM and this is PM. So we just load it up every 4 days and have that ready for him so that he's well cared for.
Yes, and so that's a really great thing. Olivia, when she travels to camp, doesn't require as many supplements as my other daughter does, and so that's a great size for Olivia to take when she travels. And then we have a bigger one for my other daughter that does more like 4 slots per day that holds more pills kind of thing.
Do you have any trouble taking those on the plane?
No, not at all, because they're solids.
Okay.
And I mean, it's medicinal.
Yeah.
Again, if there's oils in it.
Let's talk about what we like to travel with. So we mentioned the digestive enzymes, Inner Defense, Life9. Those can all go into capsules. But I also always have Digest and Cleanse on me. And this is a gel capsule with essential oils in it that are good for your tummy. I used to think it was only for people doing a cleanse or on a cleanse until I was traveling with Sonia and we had just gone out to eat and I was needing a little support. And so she said, you need to take this. And I'm like, really? She said, yeah. And it worked really great. So now it's my go-to. I have that fennel and I have that in my purse at all times. And
You're good to go. Yeah. And multigreens is another one that I love to use every day, but especially when you're traveling, you guys, multigreens is so imperative for energy. So I don't know about you, but when you're kind of thrown off your normal schedule, if you're doing a lot of walking, like tourism kind of stuff, get worn down. So don't let up on your normal supplements, especially when you're traveling. But those, my favorite time to take them, I may take them in the morning, but more often than not, what I do is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I will take a couple of ounces of Ningxia with a couple of these. And I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 that it recommends. I think it's 3.
3.
Yeah. Oh, what a wonderful boost. Really.
So what I love about that is you're getting the greens and the vegetables that you need, right? Some of the greens that we need in our life. So those are really great for your blood, really great for energy, your immune system. But it has Melissa oil in it. I can do, how much is Melissa oil? Bottle of Melissa,
I think
100
it's like
something?
$7,000.
Yes.
Last time I checked. I'm kidding.
And it's
But it is
huge
over
for
100.
your,
Yeah.
huge, huge.
157, give or take.
And you're getting that in
12
there.
cents.
So think about that immune system support. Go home and look up Melissa.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, you want it for that.
It's a more economical way to get Melissa in your system. There you go.
For those with that need digestive support, you can take these great little alkaline things. These are really
Those are the
great to
best.
pour into your water and drink these before meals.
Good job.
Yes, great for tummies.
Yes.
These are good
Really?
samples to give out.
Yes, they are. And they're great science
Ah.
experiments. Hello.
What?
Show your
Oh, yeah.
kids, you fill your cup with water, just a little bit, and then you drop one of these in, and it's like the volcano. It's so exciting. But I'm going to tell you something. You remember learning about the pH system, right? And so our bodies need to be more alkaline than acidic. And if they lean towards the acidic side, then we are a better habitat for sickness, right? So and just by default, by all the junk we eat and the stuff we're surrounded with and what we drink, that is all going to typically push us towards the acidic side. So we have to counteract that. That's what alkaline is awesome for. So when I fall below the wellness line, I know that I need to pull myself back towards the alkaline side. So I don't know, when was it? A month and a half ago or something, I came down with something, but I refused to claim sickness. So I'm like, I'm hitting this hard with every tool that I've got. And I started drinking about 3 of these a day. And that's probably more than what it recommends. But you guys, it was fantastic. And it tastes good. Yeah.
And
So
they do say with every meal 3 times
Yeah.
a day when you're working on something. Like,
so it's good stuff.
but you can buy it in a bottle, all the powder in a bottle, and
Yeah,
you can
you
make
just
your own
scoop it.
to-go capsule. You don't have to buy the individual packets if you don't want to, but that just,
Those
my
are easy.
husband uses those to take for his lunch, so he does the bottle at home morning and night, and then he does those
Nice.
at work
Nice.
when he remembers.
That's the
So
deal with
let's
all
talk
of it, isn't
about
it?
oils. I didn't bring oils to pass around.
You're
So-
familiar, right?
I think you're all familiar.
I have some, you're welcome.
Bring your wine around you want. Let's talk about our favorite emotional oils, because sometimes when we travel, it's an emotional experience. We have fears and anxieties, or maybe we're visiting people that are a little crazy, and I mean that cause us extra grief.
Yeah.
I mean, family events
Right,
sometimes they're stressful, and then maybe we're going somewhere that's a large group and that's not our thing. So what are our favorite? Maybe you can tell us your favorite emotional oils.
What do you like to?
Angelica.
Oh,
Yes, so tell us
number
about
one
that.
heavy hitter, white Angelica. Yes. And please note, the only way right now that you can get white Angelica, 1 per month, and it has to be on Essential Rewards. So I've already received my 1 message this week from a team member, and it's only Monday. How come I can't find white Angelica? Because you're not signed up for Essential Rewards. So that's a darn good reason. You guys, I would put it in your cart and I would just leave it there.
Yeah.
2, is it 2? Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Britta just doubled my joy. I was thinking it was 1 for that. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Your other favorite.
My other favorite, right, which I have a pretty good stash of right now. 2.
Thing where you should put so many drops in the distilled water, put it in a spray bottle, and then spray
And
it.
spray it. That's a great idea with white Angelica.
So you can
Spritz
make
it.
your own perfumes or body sprays. You could
Love
do
that.
that with this. You could put white Angelica as high a concentration or low as you want and add water and
Yep, and just make a little
bless
mister.
yourself.
Put it in one of those cute little pumps. And, yeah, that's a great one. Good.
Other emotional oils that you love?
I use Becca all the time.
Yes.
Excellent.
There was a woman behind me on a flight who was clearly afraid of our takeoff. And her husband was trying to calm her down. And I just kind of turned around and I said, hey, put this on her neck and have her smell it. And that was super helpful. He said, I don't know what it is. Afterwards, he's like, thank you. I don't even know what
Doesn't
that was."
matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Good stuff.
How about Valor? awesome for lots of different reasons. Maybe the crowds, maybe the actual travel experience. I have ridden in a vehicle as my husband has driven through the mountains.
Woo, they're rolling.
A little white-knuckled because he kind of likes to hug the rail and look over, and can't do it. Can't do it. So Valor is good for some of those reasons.
Joy is a daily for
Joy.
me. I like to put joy over my heart. You could do harmony as well.
I put harmony on my solar plexus every day, along with joy on the heart, white angelica all over, Valor on the wrist.
But check out the feelings
Yeah.
kit. That's a really good one. And I have to mention, every time I think of convention, I think of neroli because that's Sonia's favorite.
Yeah.
So really, neroli comes from the orange blossom, and it's a very calming oil. So it's the oil that our orange blossom face wash is made with as well. Very
Lovely.
special oil. Okay, immune oils, we kind of talked about those. Digestive oils and the digestive we talked about. Muscle aches oils, muscle support.
Good
Because
stuff.
when we travel, we tend to get sore
yeah.
and achy.
Just what were you gonna say? Pan away.
Yes.
That's an obvious one. How many deep relief lovers do we have? I did a post. I think maybe you guys have done the post too in our groups yesterday about pick your favorite roller blend. Can you believe that there were some people who had never tried deep relief yet? I couldn't believe it. Have you not tried it? Do yourself a favor,
Pass it back.
if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
You guys, it
You can
feels
use it if you
so amazing on your muscles and on your joints. It's important.
So these bad boys, we have
yeah.
and you want to shake them before
For
you
sure.
use them. We have our pain cream.
Cool Azul.
And
pain
Cool
cream.
Azul is an oil blend that is similar to Panaway, a little bit different. So you can buy just that blend. So you have the pain cream, that blend that goes in more like a lotion, and you have the gel that's more the consistency of aloe vera. So you can try those out.
There you go.
Ooh, in your
Excellent.
bag. But you can put those in smaller travel size containers
Right.
too. You don't have to take your big bottles along with you.
Yep. All right.
How do you business build while you fly,
Want to fly?
while you travel?
Well, I think one of the things just to keep in mind, I'm a big believer that if you guys love the benefits that you get from Young Living, that we have an obligation to share this, right? It's selfish to keep it to ourselves. So I'm a proponent of just going through every day, whether you're traveling or you're going to the grocery store, go through every day expectant that you're going to meet somebody and hear their story. You may or may not have something that would be a good fit for them. So when we're traveling, the kicker is, we've already talked about having some samples with you and some sort of card or way to exchange information, but also how many of you travel with some sort of business tool that if you meet somebody that's looking for a business opportunity, you would have something to give them. Does anybody travel on purpose? Britta does.
I do take my Lucy bag with
If you take your Lucy bag,
me.
okay,
I don't,
because
I
it's
haven't-
packed.
I'm going to change it again, but I had it not all packed because of how cold it was getting in the winter
Perfect.
time.
Sure. So the common denominator here is that Britta is the other diamond in the room.
Mhm.
So maybe just think about it, okay? And we're not forcing you to share, but just consider what would happen if you had a tool like this. This is one of our most fantastic tools. And you know what's crazy is that the first half of this book, the first 3/4 perhaps, doesn't even say a thing about Young Living. It's all about the network marketing business model, right? And it's just the back part that has some great testimonials of some of our friends that says, hey, I met Young Living, I started sharing it, and this is what happened. When you sit down next to somebody on a plane, do you visit with them? It's a really good opportunity. You can ask them what they do for a living, what do they like to do when they're on vacation, that sort of thing. Ask about their family. And if you hear a lot of things like, gosh, I wish I could go on vacation, but I've got another work trip, I'm missing my kid's baseball game. If you start hearing those sorts of things, that's when this could come out and say, listen, I don't know if what I do on the side would be a good fit or not. But if I gave you this book, would you read it? You know, that if I would you line, that's really important. Don't just hand them out because they cost, right? But if you hand it to them, and Richard Bliss Brooke, the author of this, even suggests have your own personal copy. You can even have your name written in it and highlight the parts that you like. Dog ear the pages that you find riveting and give your copy away.
And your contact.
And you know what
Start a
that
new
does?
copy.
Do you know what that does mentally to the recipient? They think, oh my gosh, that's awfully kind. You're giving me your personal copy. But also when you reread it, you know, if you reread this book every 6 months, I'm at a different point in my business now than I was a year ago. And so when I read it now, I'm probably going to glean different things from it. So if you keep rereading it, you'll gather different things. You'll probably highlight different things. So that's one great tool. Another one that I love to share, this is such an easy one and fairly inexpensive. These are like $1 a piece. But Jim Rohn's CD, this says nothing about Young Living, but Jim Rohn is the best storyteller on the planet. And if you don't have one of these, talk to your upline because I'm pretty sure they can get one in your hand real quick. That's an audio CD that you can listen to in the car. And then, of course, Sarah Harnish's little book. These are also about $1 a piece. The Game Plan. This is really tiny, so like it can fit in your pocket. And that will give a glimpse of her story, if that is what floats your boat. Okay, that's a pretty compelling story too. But the idea is just be expectant and be prepared that you're going to run into somebody. Okay.
I love that idea of everywhere you go, you're looking to meet a new friend. And so I am very purposeful most of the time about not putting on my headphones or doing things that close me off from the people around me. Whether I'm going through the grocery store, I'm making eye contact and I'm looking for people who make eye contact and I'm saying hello and I'm chatting with them because I believe that I have things to offer. Whether it's my faith, whether it's Young Living, whether it's a business opportunity, whether it's a connection to somebody in a mothering group that they need access to, whatever it is, I believe I'm a connector of people, a networker. Yep. And so I'm looking for those opportunities to share in a genuine way, not in a salesy, pushy way, but in a real, genuine way. So I love that you talked about doing that wherever you are. So the important thing, though, is as much as you can to get their contact information, because how many of you have gotten a business card from a place or a person you thought, oh, I'm so glad I'm going to look them up, I'm going to check this out, I'm going to call them. And what happens to that business card usually?
A pile of them.
It ends up in the bottom of your purse all crumpled up.
Right. And so that's what's going to happen to your business card. So instead, how easy would it be to just say, I really enjoyed talking with you. Are you on Facebook? And if they say yes, you pull up Facebook and you say, would you put your name in here and friend me? Because I want to find you and connect with you later. I want to ask you what you thought of that book. I want to ask you what you think of that sample. And then it's on you to follow up with them. And you're not waiting around for them to find you. And if they're not on Facebook, say, that's okay. Would you put your email address into my email on here? And I want to send you an email and ask you after my trip how that went.
Awesome. That's how we showcase being professional.
I have a question
Okay.
for you. It's a learning opportunity maybe for everybody. So I have a person that has asked me about the oils. So I got my peppermint out. He had allergies and he came back and he says, I didn't sneeze the rest of the day. This is wonderful. And I shared the oil story and shared what I was doing and showed him my oils. I cannot get into a meeting. He keeps saying, well, my wife doesn't. So then I let it drop, and then he'll bring it up again. He's my bug guy. He comes in.
Okay.
And so then I'll get excited and share again. And then he said, well, if she just knew there were other stuff. So I sent my old catalog, the 2017. I said, just take that and keep it. Let her look at it. But we have so much more. And I wrote down the margin, other things that we have. I just can't get to, any other ideas, because I know he wants to, his wife's holding him up. And I don't know, I've tried everything.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. So if it were another female, what I would probably do is say, when does it work for you? Let's just meet for coffee.
I did that, I've done that, tried that, I've tried everything. I said, you can come to a meeting, I can come to your house, we can meet somewhere. But and so then I'll let it drop, but then he'll continually bring it back up. So I don't know.
What would happen if you had a starter kit and you said, you know what, I've got this. How about if we just sit down and get you started?
Right now.
Cut to the chase. What is, my favorite question is, what is stopping you from
And
joining
his answer is his
today?
wife. I've got to sell my wife on it, or I can't. That's what. But I can't get to his wife. That's the problem.
So that could be an excuse.
Right.
I mean, we've all played that game before,
Yes,
right?
we have.
I need to talk to my husband.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, I've played that game.
So I just thought, but he seems so genuine.
So genuine.
Yeah.
Perhaps it could be a gift for his wife for Mother's Day.
Let's surprise her. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Or perhaps a gift for himself for St. Patrick's Day from his wife, and she doesn't know it. I don't know.
Just thoughts if you run into
The
anything
reality
like that.
is, I mean, my gut says, does your wife approve every purchase? Does your husband approve every purchase?
No.
Oh gosh. So is this truly a hang up?
I even told
Or
her
are you-
Greta's story.
Yeah.
She didn't want anything to do with
Right.
it, and, you know.
Right. And so, yeah, I think that's a very valid point. We all get on board at a different pace, and
Right.
she may need a little experience to get on board. So just tell him it's okay if you get started without her being 100% gung ho. Yeah, let's. I mean,
Yeah, I'll try that.
I've
Can you
spent
try
100.
samples?
Yeah, I've given them samples.
So we
Yeah.
have just a few more
Okay.
miscellaneous categorized. So this category is called other travel habits.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So thieves veggie spray.
There you go.
So how many of you are washing your fruit and veggies already with the wash? It's awesome.
So easy.
They have a spray that you can spray and wipe off with a cloth. So if you're traveling and
Your
you're
jeans.
getting fruit on the go, or you're buying that apple and you want to spray it at the airport, this is a really great item. And again, you can put it in a smaller bottle, but that is travel size.
For longer trips, if you need to do laundry while you're away, this is probably one of the best travel things because it is so concentrated that it just takes a little bit. So if you're driving, you can totally toss this in, but otherwise,
2 loads
more than that,
at least.
like 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So super concentrated. Fill that up, you're
And
good to go.
not only just if you're thinking, oh, I want to do some laundry quick at my friend's house or at the travel mat or whatever, but if you get a stain on
Yeah.
something, a tiny bit of this in your hotel room with some water
You're
can
good.
help you get your stain out. And you can get these online at the bulk apothecary. All right.
Thieves dish soap. Again, if you're in, an Airbnb or vacation rental by owner,
We get hotel suites.
hotel suites, whatever. If you've got to do your dishes, it's so much nicer to put your hands into that Thieves dish soap.
Yeah. So we have 6 of us. So we usually try to get a place that has a little kitchenette so that we can do some cooking and eating in there. And so that's really nice.
And in a pinch, I have used that for stains as well. When I didn't have laundry detergent, it oftentimes works great. So
So the foaming pump, again, we talked about, you can keep that in your bathroom, in your hotel room, or in your purse. And then you may need yes.
these two, fantastic for lots and lots of different reasons. Sometimes if you're traveling, I mean, it's not hard to take your Art facial cleanser, but these are great makeup removers as well. So let's
and just
say,
mom of 4
Yeah.
approved, put those in a
Just-
baggie in your car.
just
and
let
wipe
me
things up.
let me treat you. Pass that thing around. They smell so amazing. Rub that on your hands. And then these are the Thieves wipes. Okay? And these are a little dry. I'm not gonna lie, because these were display. But you can have Thieves wipes that you use for all surfaces. So if you've got little ones that sit in high chairs at tables, wipe the tables off.
Or even
You
on
just-
your
yeah,
flight, you
make
can
your
wipe off your tray and your seat area on your flight.
Yeah. Totally.
as well.
Or make your own thief wipes.
Now, some of us need reference material on the go because we get the thing at the place and we're not home with our books, and what do? We've got two options.
Little pocket guides are a good start. Okay.
They make a great handout tool to curious neighbors.
They're really nice to share, but also on your phone.
Get the app on your phone.
Do you guys have the app?
Oh, yeah.
That's a really great start. It's not completely thorough because it doesn't have all of the personal care and the supplements, but that's a really good start to be able to look stuff up.
We also recommend turning your car or your flight into a traveling university, whether it's a business resource or just a natural health learning resource or some other thing that feeds your soul. You can get CDs, audios. I like an app called Audible. And so I can go to audible.com and I can purchase books that are audio that are done really, really well. And then I can download them and listen to them in a car.
And something I just discovered a couple of weeks ago is that if you are an Audible user, you can share books.
Yeah.
So I've been sharing books with my leaders on my team, and there's 3 little dots on the far right-hand side when you look at all your books that are in your library. Click on the 3 dots, and the bottom little pop-up says, send this book. It's brilliant. So
You hear all of them.
I think you can only receive a certain number of free books, but I mean, I have a pretty vast network of friends. So if I can send everybody one.
Are all of them on there shareable with someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I haven't tried to share them all.
So you can buy on
lots,
Audible, you
that's-
can buy one book at a time, and they range in price from the sale price of like $5 a book all the way to $15 to $20 a book. Or we're members and we pay $15 a month, and that gives us a credit, and then I could use a credit to get a book. So if it's a $5 book, I'm not going to use a credit on it, but if it's a $20 book, that's a deal for me. And so then basically I'm getting a free book a month. Not free, I paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But just keep learning. We all have a certain number of time or a certain number of hours in the day, right? So when I'm sitting in an airport, I'm probably going to be reading or flying or whatever. I'm not networking.
There are also a lot of podcasts.
Oh, yes. Those are my favorite.
Marketing and oils and
Yeah.
Right on.
Bring your own water bottle, we talked about.
Talk to
And
you about
just
your favorites.
tip of not having the liquid, don't put anything in your water bottle when you go through TSA. If it's filled with water, they will make you leave, dump it, and come all the way back through with all your stuff. So that's a really bad thing to have happen if you've just waited through the whole line. So remember, they won't let you stand there and drink it either. They won't. Your choice is to either give them your water bottle and say goodbye to it forever, which is fine if it's just a throwaway. But if it's your favorite awesome oils water bottle, that's going to be really sad.
Right on.
We talked about sleep tea bags. We talked about cough drops, breath spray, perfume spray, diffusers.
Let's talk about diffusers for a
I
minute.
travel with a diffuser in here.
Me
He
too.
keeps my blender company. So you can, this is really my favorite one to travel with. I get this on Amazon. I think it's like $25. He's so
They're
little.
super inexpensive. So
And he holds like what, 8 to 10 hours?
yeah, don't be intimidated by its size and think, oh, it'll only run for a couple of hours. That guy runs all night long. It's
All
awesome. So
night
as soon as I get into a hotel room, before I ever hang anything up or pack it, I know it's a light show too. The kids love it. And you can turn it off if you like it dark. But I will load that thing up. I usually do thieves and purification first thing, run it, and then if we leave and go to a meeting, go eat or whatever, when I come back, it smells like home. So
You can also do this, a wonderful, teeny tiny little guy. He does not go as long, but he makes a great accompaniment if your suitcase is full. So he is kind of a USB port. So you can plug this into your little box. You can plug it into your car charger if you've got a USB receiver.
fish in a cup holder.
Yep, so it's a great, and you can even, if you want it up a little higher than your cup holder, I've seen people put a solo cup, those little plastic solo cups, and set this guy in it. There's also car diffusers you can buy online. You can buy a personal diffuser, so it's got a little oil bladder in here. You open it, it's empty right now, but then USB, I mean, there's all kinds of diffusers. You can travel with a diffuser, just pick your kind.
What
Totally.
was the brand of the one that you carry with you?
This is
That one?
Aroma Soft.
Yeah.
Aromasoft.
Okay. And the customer service on that company is absolutely fantastic. She's amazing.
isn't it fine line?
Fine line, Aromasoft. And there's even a bigger one now that holds like twice as much water as that, but it's still fairly compact. And it runs forever.
You can actually put like two or three 5 ml bottle of oil inside it and then put it in the box.
You're so smart.
So you can have it, you don't even have, you can pack your diffuser oils in your
Right
diffuser.
in there.
I don't even put it in the box. I just put it right here.
We just tuck it in with
In my boot.
It can fit in your shoe.
And then diffusers, and then thank you notes. I would talk about
That's
that.
great.
So let's talk about products by destination. If you're going somewhere cold, of course, you can take your sleep tea. You can take your cough drops. You can take your aromadome tent if you're going
There you
somewhere
go.
you want to support your wellness that way.
If you're going to the beach, somewhere hot, make sure you pack your Clariderm or your Lavaderm. Your skin will thank you. When we went to Ecuador for the first time, we went through an entire bottle of Lavaderm in one trip. It's a wonderful after sun spray to kind of restore the structure of your skin after you've been out in the sun too
So
long.
Lavaderm and Clariderm are very similar. Lavaderm is water-based, Clariderm is oil-based. And so they do different, they're very similar. They're both great for skin. I've heard a lot of testimonies about this. I don't know how to do that compliantly. Supporting your,
Take it to the hospital after you have a
yes,
baby.
after your childbirth.
Which one? Clariderm.
Clariderm. And any other air-related issues.
After sun spray, that's a new product that came out. Is that a year ago?
Yeah. Has that already.
Yeah, that was good
But it's
stuff. I
great for
didn't bring
bug
that one.
bites too. I passed
Yeah.
that soon. It sprays on like a lotion,
yeah.
so it comes out. I don't have it in the box, but sprays on like a lotion, and you can either leave it that way or rub it in like a lotion. It's a really cool
Good.
product.
Creamy and soothing. It's
Bug
awesome.
bites.
Sunscreen, we now have that, which is fantastic, as well as bug spray,
Woo.
which is awesome.
Did I pass around my sunscreen away?
I don't know. I don't think we had it.
I thought I did.
I don't. Okay, pretend. You know the sunscreen. If you go to sporting events or your kids are involved in sports, think about all of the things that would be great to travel with then.
Massage oils, the pain cream, those kinds of things. And just put those into bottles that are more custom sized for you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ninja Nitro is great for them, and so is Amino Wise. Are you guys familiar with what Amino Wise is? And again, you can put those into smaller travel size containers. So that's a powder that you would shake with water, and it helps to hydrate your body. It gives you minerals and
Restores muscle function, and it
Helps you
tastes like
perform.
pink lemonade. So flavor wise, it's yummy.
delicious. How about
Yeah.
packing kids?
Packing kids. Send those kids to summer camp or send them to grandma's house. They're going to need some home comforts. So
When I pack my kiddos, I help Libby pack for camp. She really likes it when we pack a day's worth of clothes in 1 gallon-sized Ziploc bag. So when she goes to the restroom at camp, she can just take out Monday's clothes into the bathroom. It's got everything she needs, and then she puts her dirty clothes back into that bag in the suitcase. So
So
if it's
smart.
wet, if it's dirty, if it's gross and smelly, we seal it up
just
and we're
seal
good.
it up.
Plus, it's like these cinch bags where they go really tight and suck all the air out, and you can hold more space. So that
I love
works
it.
really great for her. She also likes the supplement container we talked about. Ninja packets. And then oils. Her oils are a little different. I love what Maria does. My friend Maria does for her kiddos. She actually takes this. This is made for roller bottles, whether you make your own or you buy the roll-ons. And so when her and her husband are traveling and the kids are going somewhere else, they have their little to-go packet of roll-ons that are pre-diluted. She's got tummy, she's got emotional, she's got respiratory, immune system, her own little homemade mixes. And the kids can just grab their oils out of their bag, and they don't even have to talk to the relatives.
And you can imagine, I mean, for grandparents that don't oil, if you sent them with the case of 64, that completely overwhelm them, right?
Yeah.
What do I do? This is so easy. Oh, it says tummy, rub it on your tummy.
Yeah.
You know, and the kids are old, if they're old enough,
Yes.
they know what to do. So this is also an amazing little case that could be a clutch. If you want to use that for a purse, you see that there's little slots here for your license or your credit cards or whatever. That Bobby Shaven has a great testimony of using this for her purse. And, you lay it on the counter or the cash register, whatever, and people oftentimes will ask, what in the world is that? That smells really good. And I can't tell you how many times she's shared contact information with cashiers just because she uses that for her purse.
Livy, do you want to share about oils that you like to travel with? What are you
I
thinking?
like so many oils, like peppermint, dries, sometimes fennel. I like Stress Away because it smells good, and lavender, tan away. I think that is
You like sleepy eyes too, don't you?
yeah.
So we usually just make her own little carrying case, and she customizes that for whatever she wants it to be. The other thing that we didn't mention is going to bed at night. Does anybody have a little bit of trouble in a new location? Okay, so Rudavala is a really calming roll-on that helps you just relax. Tranquil is another really great roll-on for that. We have a capsule called Sleep
Essence.
Sleep Essence.
Yeah.
That's lavender and valerian or vetiver.
I think valerian.
Really calming essential oils and a little bit of melatonin. So you could take that before bed to help relax. And then
This is another favorite that has melatonin.
so this is for it's immune system support, but with that melatonin, it's going to help you sleep. So it's a chewable tablet that you would chew right before you went to bed. And so how many of you, when you need immune system support, really just want to sleep, right? And so this helps you with that as well. It's kind of a double whammy.
Cedarwood is another one that's great. I like that one mixed with lavender at night in the diffuser or in a roller bottle. You can put that on the bottom of your feet. But that's another great combo.
Which
This is Immu Pro. Yeah.
And you don't have to take a whole tablet.
That's a true story. Do you cut them in half? Excellent.
Just even for me.
Excellent. I'll tell you a funny story about Immu Pro and how well it works. When Brian, my husband, retired almost 2 years ago now, he said, I'm going to get ramped up on my supplements. I'm going to take these seriously. And because he hadn't really been in a big routine before, but now he's like, I'm home. I can think about this more. And so seriously, for like the first 3 months, he was just napping all the time. And I chalked it up to the fact that he had to, come down off the corporate high, and he was alleviating stress. But after a while, I'm like, dude, you're sleeping all the time. Like, when are you going to engage in life? He said, what are you taking? Because you should have more energy. And he shows me like all that he's taking in the morning. Immu Pro was in it. I'm like, no, that's going to put you to sleep by 10 o'clock. And it was. And so we learned that Immu Pro is best taken at about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock as opposed to 8 o'clock in the morning. So
I have a little granddaughter that doesn't like to sleep.
it's good. Oh, it's great for kids because it tastes delicious. It's got this wonderful berry flavor. So I think they're awesome. Yeah, totally.
That is our bag
Very
of tricks.
good. You guys, thank you so much. That was a lot of information.
Okay, I want to know who learned something new. Favorite takeaway?
We promised you at least one thing. What'd you catch? What's your favorite?
Lots.
I know, she's got pages of notes here. Do you feel empowered, like you're ready to travel now? Anybody that wasn't going to plan a trip, now you are, just because you've been to this class? Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. I think we have our work cut out for us, just putting things away. But thank you so much. Have an
7
excellent
pages in
evening. Nice work.
Probably great.
Okay, everybody, say hello to our friends that are going to watch this later. Woo. There we go. Thanks for joining.
Yay, guys.